Today we're going to be talking about n8n automations. It is a very popular topic these days, and in simple words, what it means is that it's a tool that lets you connect apps together and automate tasks without writing much code. In simple words, n8n is like a digital Lego for automation. You drag, drop, and connect blocks so apps can talk to each other and do work for you automatically. A very basic example would be instead of doing this manually, when someone fills a form, you copy the data, you paste it into Google Sheets, you send a Slack message, and it does it for you automatically the moment the form is submitted. So, meaning like you have the form submitted, it would copy the data and it would paste it into Google Sheets and it would send a Slack message, all of it at once. What makes n8n special is that visual workflows, you literally see the steps connected. It's kind of like building blocks. You can see over here pictures, and we're going to be discussing more on this. So these are some of the pictures that ChatGPT created for me, but works with many apps like Google Sheets, Slack, Notion, GitHub, APIs, databases, AI tools, so much. There's so much out there. Self-hosted, you run it on your own server, great for privacy and cost. And you can also use virtual private servers, VPS. And Hostinger is giving it developer friendly. You can use code if you want, but you don't have to, okay? How to explain it in one YouTube sentence? n8n is an open source automation tool that lets you visually connect apps and automate workflows, kind of like Zapier, but more powerful and developer friendly. And Zapier is automatic transmission, and then manual plus automatic transition, more control, more power. So go ahead over here. We're going to have a step-by-step guide on how to set it up on my Windows computer. So this is going to be a guide where we're going to work and do a completely free self-hosted n8n setup on Windows 11 using Docker Desktop plus WSL2, most reliable on Windows. So what you'll get at the end of the day is an n8n locally running at this port, localhost port 5678. Data persisted, so workflows credentials don't disappear after restart, meaning persisted means like they are saved. And no n8n cloud subscription needed. This is self-hosted community edition, which is completely free community edition. Install and enable WSL2. If you go to PowerShell and run it with administrator access, what you'll see is that we'll have the system32 over here, and we just write in WSL install. A distribution with a supplied name already exists, and then it already exists. So restart your PC of Windows as. Docker recommends WSL2 for Docker Desktop on Windows 11, and notes WSL requirements for your X. To confirm WSL is installed, we use this command. So if I run WSL-L-V, you can see over here we have Docker Desktop, state is stopped, version is 2, and Ubuntu, state is stopped, and version is 2. You should see a distro often Ubuntu and version 2. Well, it's perfectly there. Install Docker Desktop, free for personal use. Install Docker Desktop for Windows. Open Docker Desktop settings. Make sure you use WSL2 based engine is enabled. Okay, so what it goes is I have Docker Desktop. I'll just want to open it up so that you can also see it. And then we go to the settings section here. So if we go here in the settings and make sure you use the WSL2 engine based engine. So settings, resources, and then WSL integration, and then enable integration with my default WSL distro. Configure with which WSL2 distros you want to access Docker from. And it says over here, enable your Ubuntu distro if shown. Enable integration with additional distros, Ubuntu distro. I'll do that. And to enable integration with additional distros, yeah. So I would, if you have like hesitant, Docker's Windows install plus WSL distros are here. Settings, resources, WSL integration, enable your Ubuntu distro. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to apply and restart that. So I'm gonna go, it's gonna apply that. Okay, we'll close this out. And what is container? How do I run a container? This is just the entire Docker Desktop application. And it's super simple stuff, man. You're running containers shown up here. A container is an isolated environment for your code. Create a folder for your n8n setup. You can think of a container as an app, running app, right? a dedicated app. A dedicated application that's running with some dedicated resources is a container, and I've had countless videos explaining it in the past, and you can check them out on YouTube. Go to my channel, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and go and see my older videos. Now create a folder for your n8n setup. Now pick a place on your PC, for example, over here, and then inside the n8n create a file named docker-compose.yaml. Let's go ahead and follow these instructions, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this up with the cursor environment, because this is what I like really. And we're now going to be and changing up our style of videos, just following latest trends. And so far, people are using cursor more than Visual Studio Code nowadays, but we're just going to keep it with the cursor. It does take a little time to start, but here we have the folder, and we're going to create a folder here. And what's the folder called? The folder is called docker-compose-yaml, or the file basically. So go in here and we create a file, and this is called docker-compose-yaml. And then it says, do you want to install the recommended Docker extension from, and then we can say, okay, we want it, but we'll just cancel it right now. Add a Docker Compose file recommended. Paste this into Docker Compose YAML. So this is some of the services that we need, and we need n8n image, n8n IO, n8n latest. So this is the website, n8n.io, and you can see over here we have Community Edition, Forum, Discord, Careers, Blog, Creators, Contribute, Hire and Expert Support, and Events, Doc, Self-Host n8n, and then Docker Installation Guide, Environment Variables, Authentication, Scaling n8n Guide, Server Kits. So this is all going to give you the information on how to set it locally for free, and then you have the documentation where you can read more about how to do this. This is pretty annoying, but here we have about n8n. Helps you to connect any app with an API with any other and manipulate its data with little or no code. It's super customizable, and you'll see some examples when I do a project within this video. So let's go ahead and copy this piece of code and paste it right here. So you can see over here we have this as saved. So services, n8n, image, and I think we're in, okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to change the cursor. Okay, there we go. Okay, so over here we have services, n8n, image, and we have n8n io slash n8n colon latest. This is the image. Ports is this ports that we want to have it running. So restart unless stop environment. And we got an n8n encryption replaced with a long random string. The time zone is American Chicago. Volumes is n8n data, and volumes n8n data. Why this matters: persistent storage. n8n stores config keys in home node n8n. Okay, persistent storage right here. All right. We mount it to a Docker volume so it persists. And then encryption key, which is this one. So protects saved credentials, and then can auto-generate one on first run, but setting your own is recommended so you don't lose access to encrypted credentials if the instance changes. Generate a good encryption key. We use this command to copy an encryption key. I think we have the PowerShell turned off, so we'll just open it up. We run this command, which is bytes is equal to new object byte 32, new object system security cryptography whatever. Press enter, and it says we give you this kind of piece of encryption thing. So we copy this piece, right, and copy the output and replace with long random string. So you saw over here with replace this one. We delete that. And yeah, some people watched my video and they said you try to use word wrap. So view and then word wrap so that you guys can see it more clearly. Okay, I think this is good. And now start n8n. Open PowerShell, go to the folder and run. Okay, so docker compose up -d. So open PowerShell. Again, we are back with PowerShell, and we make sure that we're in the same folder. Okay, and we'll do it cd, and now we're in that folder. Now over here, what we want to do is we want to write docker compose up -d. I had an issue when I try to run the Docker command, and if I go into my PowerShell, you'll see that it failed over here, error response. So I kind of copied the problem and what happened. So the problem is that our Windows usually does come up with an issue with storage. So I had an issue with storage. I kind of freed up my space in the C drive, and now I'm going to rerun this command one time again. So let's go back here and run this command. Docker compose up -d, and let's hope that this time it would work, because there was not enough space. It should have at least 10 to 20 GB free. Now if we look at it, it definitely has it. Before it didn't have. Now go back here in PowerShell, and you can see over here it's stuck a little, but if it doesn't work, I'm gonna have to WSL shutdown and then try again. Let's see, in PowerShell admin run WSL shutdown, start Docker desktop again, and then okay. Let's just turn it off, bro. WSL -- shutdown. Alright, and then just close that, close this, and then start Docker desktop again. Docker desktop. And then we're gonna go to PowerShell. Alright, let's go to run as administrator, PowerShell, right? Okay, so, I mean, can you see my screen? Let's see, is that visible? Come on, yeah. Yep, it's working. Alrighty, go now to the, where do I have to run this command? Alright, just run it here. Okay, so I think we gotta go to that path again. So going to the path, which is right here. Copy this path and cd and then paste it here. Alright, so now we're in this path and we're gonna run this docker compose command. This should now build it. So let's go back here. See what happens. And the file does exist right here. This docker-compose.yaml. This is the file. Alright. Take that. If it still fails, purge data, common fix. This clears broken containerd snapshots databases. You'll repull images. But it often fixes the metadata DB with right error. Docker desktop settings, troubleshoot. Alright, so that's also one thing. So I did try to open up Docker desktop. It didn't pull up, but let's see. Okay, so we restarted our computer and we're gonna open up PowerShell, and we're gonna use admin, and over here we're gonna go to that same directory. So that directory is basically this one. And I'm gonna make sure I'm in that particular directory. I'll copy this and I go to PowerShell and I say cd and I paste that in. So now I'm in this particular directory. What I have to run is docker compose up -d, and I know now that my Docker is running. Okay, engine running, you can see over here. And now if I run docker compose up -d, no configuration file provided, not found. So okay, so this one is not the thing. It's this one. So it should run this. Okay, now you can see Docker backend. I'm gonna allow that. And from daemon, unable to find user node, no matching entries in password file. So let's see what we got. I tried running the command, but got this. Alright, so let me also just show you what it does in Docker. So you can see n8n project is visible here, and it has a container ID and the image, the exact image we had, but
I don't see any other information on it. So yep, the new Docker image does not compose file syntax, unable to find user node, no matching entries in password file. The n8n image normally runs as user node, and that user should exist inside the container. When Docker says it can't find it, it's usually one of these. Docker Desktop is in Windows containers mode instead of Linux containers. The image pool layers are corrupted, incomplete, common after the earlier I/O storage error, rare architecture platform mismatch. Here's the clean fix. Make sure Docker is using Linux containers. In Docker Desktop, click the tray whale icon. So let me see. If you see switch to Linux containers, click it. Okay, I don't see the tray. Let's see over here. No. Ask Gordon. I don't see it, man. Only show running containers, there's nothing. So make sure, if you see switch to, if it says switch to Windows containers, you're already on Linux containers. Important because n8n is a Linux container. Okay. I don't see the images, volumes, Kubernetes builds, models, Docker Hub. I don't see. Docker is running. Docker Hub. Check for updates. Restart. I'll just say this is how my Docker looks like. So click the tray icon. This is how my Docker desktop on Windows looks like. I can't see the tray whale icon. Perfect. This actually clears things up. Nothing is wrong. Newer Docker desktop version no longer rely on the tray whale icon on the way older disk. Already running Docker currently. Correctly. Docker desktop is already open and running. New UI versions manage container mode inside the app. Okay, new app versions manage container mode inside the app, not via the tray. The switch to Linux Windows option only appears if Windows containers are enabled. Your screen shows engine running, bottom left, version, no errors or warning, no switch to containers option because you're already on Linux containers, so container mode is not the issue. You're hitting You are hitting two different symptoms of Docker storage corruption. Earlier, this thing, now unable to find user node, no matching entries in password file. That almost always means that image layers are corrupted from the earlier I/O error. This is common on Windows after a sudden Docker shutdown, disk hiccup, low space, WSL corruption. The fix that will work. Reset Docker desktop required. Install inside Docker. Click on settings. Troubleshoot. Go to troubleshoot. I don't see that. Click on reset to factory defaults. Troubleshoot. Kubernetes, enable Kubernetes. Start a Kubernetes single or multi-node cluster. When starting Docker desktop, AI, builders, Docker engine, resources, file sharing proxies, network, WSL integration. I can't really see. Okay, it's using 1.4 GB. This is how the settings look like. I don't see the troubleshoot option. You're not missing anything in Docker Desktop. Troubleshoot is no longer left on your side. It was moved. Troubleshoot reset lives in your version option A, top right corner of the docs desktop. In the gear, Docker Home, Docker Admin Console, Docker Build Cloud, Docker Scout. Docker Home will take you here. So we're gonna go back here into, okay. So it says over here in the top search bar, type, click the settings icon you've already there in the top search, type reset. Okay, let me see. Search bar. Okay, reset. Okay, I can just see images. You should see options like reset, clean, purge data. Docker hides these unless you search for them now. I don't even see, honestly. It's just asking random stuff. If I go in here and I say reset, it doesn't show any results here as well. Alternatively, click the question help icon in the top bar next to search. Question icon control. Okay. I don't need images. No volume talks. Extensions. Nothing. Where's that question option? I don't see the question option either. Reset. Okay, just can't see it now. And then you'll see reset to factory defaults. Factory defaults. Maybe I can copy that and go to settings and search here. Delete. I don't know. Docker run mode. Why this reset is because earlier you had this one, then unable to find user node, the two together corrupted Docker storage. No setting toggle can fix that, only a reset can. What I want you to do now is step by step reset Docker desktop, use reset to factory defaults. Like Docker's fully restart, wait until the bottom left says engine running. Then clean leftovers, PowerShell, Docker system prune. Okay, let me just go ahead and do that in the PowerShell. Copy that. And deleted containers, whatever containers were there, like this n8n one. Use a safe compose file. Okay, let's just go here and go to our compose file. Open this with Notepad. Delete that and just paste this one. Services n8n, image, Linux, and all that. Unless stopped, encryption. Okay, Control Y. Okay, this is the new one. Volumes. Okay, copy that. Go ahead and just remove that and paste it. Save. And start again. Docker compose up -d. Should be deleted now. Wow, we reclaimed a lot of storage. Now let's just see if this one works again. Okay, so I'm gonna say docker compose up -d. Docker compose up -d. I don't know, there's always some internet issues where right now you can see over here pulling 288 MB. I don't know how they make these terminals. Okay, a network n8n project default, container n8n project n8n1, creating. Oh wow, it worked now, finally. So you can see, you should see, if I do docker compose logs -f, so you can see over here, the app is running here in localhost. Localhost port 5678 and n8n is working. Now this is perfect. Man, it took so long, but we finally got it to work, which is perfect. The logs say that. And we go back here to the explanations, and it says you should see n8n ready on port. Then open this thing. And since we opened that, it did bring us here. Reassurance, your Docker settings are correct. WSL2 is enabled. You are using Linux containers. You are not using error. You are not user error. This is not user error. This happens a lot on Windows after an I/O hiccup. Once this reset is done, n8n will run cleanly. If you're done resetting, paste the first 10 lines of Docker Compose logs. I'll confirm you're 100% ready to go. It works. I can see the following. Let's continue till the end. See how I'm using AI now to do this tutorial? This is now going to be a unique way of doing tutorials in the future for coding cleverly. If you like this way, thank you. If you don't like this way, then let me know why, because now it's becoming very, very essential to use AI technology, and that's how we're going to be learning throughout the videos. And subscribe to the channel if you still haven't. So now you can see complete the first setup on, so you're on the right spot. Let's finish the local only, completely free setup cleanly. Complete the first setup. So the setup is complete. What we have to do is create your own owner account, name, email, password. You may see an option about personalization, telemetry. Choose whatever you prefer. After finishing, you should land in the n8n editor UI. Confirm data persistence, super important. You want to be sure your workflows don't disappear after a restart. In PowerShell, what you do is in the n8n project, just say docker compose restart, then refresh the browser. If you stay logged in, your setup remains, persistence is working. Okay, so the first thing is, first of all, create an account. So we're going to use our email, and we're going to use our name and password. I'm going to give some random password. Alright, so I want to receive security and updates. After that, we describes your company, software as a service. What role describes you, business owner. Who will your automations mainly be for? Myself. And how big is your company? I'll say I'm not using any for less than 20. How did you hear about us? Google. I mean, that's like send me a free license key. So get paid features for free forever. So receive a free activation key for the advanced features below. Included features may include, but once unlocked, you'll keep them forever. So also send me a free license key, and your license key is on the way. Check your email to find your license key, then head to usage and plan to activate your license. So you can see over here we're in the n8n homepage, and you can see over here create your first workflow, start from scratch. And I click on this, you can see over here I'm in a grid section, and you can see over here, okay, we want to be sure your workflows won't disappear after a restart. In PowerShell, what you would do is you would go and say docker compose restart. Then refresh the browser. If you stay logged in, your setup remains, persistence is working. So let's go ahead and turn off these logs, and then just run the command docker compose restart. So I'm going to run in docker compose restart. If I restarted the container, Linux one, which runs the n8n image, it started, and now you can see over here I'm still logged in, right? I'm still logged in with my account, which is good. Now create a hello world workflow quick test. Inside n8n, click create workflow, add node manual trigger. So first setup, add node manual trigger manually. Runs, okay, I have this thing, execute workflow, click test workflow, add node manual trigger, add node set, 1 minute. So add node manual trigger, Alright, so we have this manual trigger. Only one manual trigger node is allowed in a workflow. I think this is the manual trigger. So if I like delete this, then I can add the manual trigger again. So manual trigger, it's just this thing. When clicking execute workflow, okay? And then add a node set, add a field message equal to hello. Okay, let's say set, edit fields, set, modify or add or remove items, item fields. Okay, manual mapping setting. I don't even know what I'm doing here. So I'm just gonna have this node execute previous nodes. There's nothing here. I'm gonna go back to canvas, discard, edit fields. There you go. Okay, and then there's like values. You can add a field message, add node set, add a field message is equal to hello from n8n. So manual mapping. Okay, string. What is it called? Message. So I'm gonna write message, and the value for that is hello from n8n. Hello from n8n. Okay. So now that we have that, we have add options, include other input fields, execute step. Okay, node executed successfully. Now we have add options, ignore type conversion errors, support dot notations. Add field, we can add more fields, but right now you should click text workflow. You should see output from the set node. Okay, let's go back. I think back to canvas and click on this. Execute workflow. Workflow executed successfully. You should see output from the set node. I don't see the output actually. I see one item. So when I do execute workflow executed successfully, but I don't see any output. Click save. So there's a save button right here. Now if you go to test a webhook locally, this is the big one. New workflow. Okay, so execute workflow, we create a new workflow, I think workflow. Add node webhook. So let's go and create a what triggers this workflow? A trigger is a step that starts your workflow. Webhook. Okay, starts the webhook starts the workflow when a webhook is called. Okay. Now the webhook, add node webhook HTTP method get path test. I don't know why we have that. Add node respond to webhook. Okay. Add node respond to webhook. Okay. I mean listen for test event. Add options. How do you okay, you have to just go back to execute this node to view data or set mock data. So first item, set item, save. You can delete the data as well. You just add some mock data. Listen for test event or settings. And then we can just go back to canvas. Now this is the webhook that's created. Execute workflow. We have two different items that are being result out, and that's exactly what we saw before, but we're not going to do that, and I'm going to say webhook starts the workflow when a webhook is called, and then we have this path to test, and then go back to canvas. We have this webhook. Add node respond to webhook. So let's see, respond to webhook for webhook, and then what is the response body? Okay, true. Response. First incoming item. Options. Put responses in field. Responses headers. Response code. Okay. You can even delete that. Settings. Notes. Execute step. I'll just go back to canvas. So response to webhook. Response body. I wish I could edit the response body. Open execute step. Verify that the webhook node respond parameter is set to usually respond to webhook. Nodes respond parameter set to using respond to webhook node. First incoming item, add options settings, add options response code, headers. So we have a bunch of stuff, but the click test workflow, and then I will show a test URL. Click test workflow. Okay, waiting for trigger event. I don't know what this is doing. Execute while waiting for you to call the test URL. Where do I call the test URL? Inactive. When workflow activated. Okay. Wait. Okay, I don't know. I don't even know how to do this, honestly. In a browser tab, open test if that's what n8n shows. You should see the JSON response. Let's see. Okay, code message unused respond to webhook found in the workflow. But the thing is, like if we, okay, there was a problem because in this, okay, verify that the webhook nodes respond parameters set to using respond to webhook node, and it should be. Let's cancel that. Okay, so I think there's a body here, and respond body. Add node respond to webhook response body. So let's go here output. I can't see any options here. Like, okay, response code headers, put response in field. Put response in field. Execute. I don't know. Put that, and then go back. Waiting for you to call to test URL. Okay, let's open up this. Still, it's not working. Problem in node webhook unused respond to webhook node found in the workflow. So let's go here. Parameter test get path test authentication immediately. Respond using respond to webhook respond to finding that node. Now let's go back here and waiting for trigger. If I run this URL, and now it should work, and then it actually worked. Now you can see over here we got this response, Google Chrome and test. You can see all of that, and it worked successfully. So that's exactly what we wanted to see. I mean, we're pretty much rocking. Okay, this is how the headers exact data looked like. Put response in field. You could have showed something else, but that's what you saw. You see the JSON response. Then activate the workflow and use the production URL, usually webhook instead of webhook test. So you can also use the production URL. If you go back here, executions, evaluations. So webhook, and then we have production URL, and then let's just go back here. Okay, production URL looks like this. So I'm just going to copy that link and go back here, and I'm going to run that trigger. So I'm just going to add a new URL here. So you can see over here. Okay, unused respond to webhook. Okay, now I think one problem with n8n is that you got to save whatever you're using response to webhook node. Insert a respond to webhook node to control when and how to respond. Okay, options, allowed origins and all that. But let's go back here. Try to save this first. Respond to webhook and respond with first incoming item. And then put a response in field. Okay, is equal to true. You could add more stuff. Remember, just like how it was done before in that video. Response codes, response headers, enable streaming. You can also add some JSON here and edit the sections, what you don't want and what you want. So running this URL would trigger finally the results, and it works in production environment as well. Lock it down a bit. Recommended for even for local. Right now it's local only, but it's still good practice to add basic auth so nobody can on your network can hit it if you ever expose it. Update docker-compose.yaml like this, and then restart your container. Now you see, now when you open the port, the browser will prompt for username and password. Optional but smart, make it start automatically. Docker already has restart unless stopped. So it'll come back after reboot as long as Docker Desktop starts. In Docker Desktop settings, general. Okay, so we have general. So enable start Docker Desktop when you sign in. Start there when you sign into your computer. All right, and then when you click on apply, this should how to stop start later. From your project folder, stop Docker Compose down, start Docker Compose up -d, view logs, Docker Compose logs -f. 2 quick questions to finish till the end. Properly answer in 1 line each. Do you want n8n to be local only, forever, or eventually accessible from outside webhooks for your apps? Do you need to run even when you're logged out, or runs when Docker Desktop is running enough? So these are some of the questions we might answer later down, but let's go ahead and improve our Docker Compose file. So I'm going ahead here and opening it up and replacing it with here. Now you can see an OAuth password. Put a strong password here. I'll just put a 1, 2, 3, and Basic Auth username is admin. Okay, saving this, and which should allow us the encryption key as well is over here running. I'm gonna make sure I clear, and now just like how we did before, we restart the container. Alright, so now it's restarted. You go here to your home. You can actually just go to the Docker Hub. I don't know, it's not, it just takes you to websites. I'm trying to go back to the home of this. Close all that and close all this. Okay, close. Yeah, it's kind of disturbing. So yeah, so what we're gonna do is it's restarted, and you can view the logs again. Docker Compose logs -f. It's accessible again. So you go to the link, and you can see you have 2 workflows. One was my workflow and the other one is my workflow 2, and they're in a persistent state. So this is my workflow 2, execute workflow, and then it was the test URL. So listening to it for test event. Basically when you use this URL, it should hit that, and that URL is this one. So when I hit this URL, it gets activated here. Alright, so I'm waiting for event trigger. I did that. You can refresh it so that it understands what event trigger I'm doing. I can add more connections right here. So like it kind of feels like Lucidchart. And yeah, just going back to the other workflow, and this one had edit fields, hello from n8n. You kind of could give a hello from n8n receive output. Now if I run this trigger, the workflow is executed, and I just wanted a display or something. Let's see, display is not there. You can add a Discord or something, or chat, or response. I don't know. Response, or respond to chat. Message. Yeah, bring this message right here. And execute step. Workflow must be started from a chat trigger node. I don't know. Okay, it's saying workflow must be started from a chat trigger node. So we're not in the right. This is not the right node that we have. So that's why it's not going to work. But right now, without that, with this field, kind of giving us this value. So yeah, I mean, that's how you set up n8n locally. Can we build a small useful app using n8n for free right now for the video that can be applicable as well, but basic and simple, right? For free. So let's see what happens. Because we have let's build a small, genuinely useful app with n8n, 100% free, basic, and perfect for a video. No paid APIs, no cloud, no gimmicks. I'll give you one solid. And app idea is simple, useful, and impressive. AI-ready contact form backend, no code. AI backend that accepts form submissions, website, portfolio, landing page, validates input, stores messages, sends you an email, returns a clean success response. Extremely applicable freelancers, agencies, Code Crusher, personal sites. By the way, if you don't know Code Crusher, that's my agency where I build full stack software services for any kind of AI or integrations that you want. If you want to hire a team, so I have a team of very talented individuals, and I alongside work with them, and we build full scale applications. So if you need anything, do let me know. That's my WhatsApp number. You can contact, or you can just book a consultation for free here on this page, and you'll discuss the project ID, and we become versed about your budget along with your timeline, and hopefully make your idea come in reality. Okay, personal sites, SaaS, landing pages, and it shows webhooks, data processing, real automation value, all for free. What is building in plain English? It's a website form and in a workflow, validate, save, email, JSON response. Send step by step. I'll follow along. Create the workflow. Create workflow, name it, contact form backend. So let's go to the n8n. And I'm going to go to the workflows here, and I'm going to create a new one, save, and I'm going to call this one as contact form backend. Okay, now webhook node, add webhook node. Okay, so webhook node, it's this one. Start the web flow when a webhook is called. Okay, and post is the method. So get post. Okay, and then path is contact. Okay, and then we have response mode, using respond to webhook node. Response mode, we're using respond to webhook node. And then we go, I don't know, I click for a test event, pull in events from webhook. I just go back normally back to canvas, and I see this webhook there. This is your API endpoint. Set node. Okay, validation plus cleanup. Add set node. Okay, let's go set node. And I think people were searching set and they couldn't find it, so they just put this bracket around it. Edit fields, modify, add or remove item fields. And mode, keep only set. Keep only set. Manual mapping. Now, this is the thing I don't see. Is it edit fields or what is it? Now see, if I say set C table, okay, let's see. When I search set, I see edit field set, edit fields set. The newer n8n version, the set node wasn't renamed. Old name set, edit field set, they are the same thing, and then just rename it to be clear. So whenever I say set node, you should use edit field set. You're in the right place. Click edit field set. Alright. You'll see a panel where you can add fields, configure it like this. In edit fields, turn on keep only set. I don't see where keep only set exists. mode. Add these fields. Don't keep only set. Okay, I don't see. Keep. Input fields to include other input fields to set. Okay. Okay, name, field name, value. Okay, name, and then value is this. Then field 2 is message. So field 2 is email. And value would be this. It's a JSON. Basically, it's JavaScript. And then we have another field for field 3, and that's message. The value would be body message. And then we have field 4, which is received at. And the value is now. I think this is going to be the timestamp. Like this. You can see over here, the results are showing. Okay. This cleans and standardizes the incoming data from the webhook. Click done. Back to canvas. This should see. You should see now. See. Okay. Okay. Let's see. Okay. If we go back to canvas, edit fields. I will just attach this one over here. Okay. Why this node matters? Good to say. This step protects us from messy input and ensures the rest of the workflow only sees clean expected fields. That's real backend logic, not fluff. Next step, tell me when ready. If node. Basic validation. Check if email contains add. So let's go and add a if node. Alright. So, okay. Move. Alright, we'll just say next. Click the plus edit field set. Add the if node, check email. Click the plus after edit field set. Search if, select if, configure the if conditions. Inside the if node, set the condition to check your clean field email. Use this logic. Condition value 1. So okay, value 1. Parameters and settings. And then we have add option, property, ignore case, convert types when required. Value 1 per condition is value 1 is email. Operation contains is equal to contains. Let's see. Is equal to contains. I'm trying to find string. Contains what? Ampersand. Because the string should contain an ampersand. That's it. Now you'll have now you'll have two outputs. True, valid email. False, invalid email. Add the invalid response fast. On the false branch, click plus. Okay. Okay, let me go back. Okay, we got these branches. So in the false branch, on the false branch, click plus. Respond to webhook. Okay, I'm going to click on the false blank and click on respond to webhook and configure status code 400. First incoming redirect. Response code 400. Response body JSON. Response headers, put response in field, enabled streaming. First. Respond with a custom JSON body. Success equal to false. And value is invalid. This makes it feel like a real API. It does, actually. Key value pairs, right? And enclosed in JSON. Then we'll continue on the true branch. Okay. So when using expressions, note that this node will only run for the first item in the input data. So on with JSON, JWT, binary all income items. Okay, I just did that. Let's go back here. So this one's that. For the true one, on the true branch, we'll save the message locally, free, send yourself an email, return success JSON. Tell me once you have the if node added and you see true false branches. I see true false branches. What next? Okay, now we build a success path on the true branch. Save the message locally, 100% free. This gives you persistence without a database. On the true branch, we have click plus, and we search append to file. I'm gonna go into, I'm gonna copy this and I'm gonna put this as append to file. I can't find that. Okay. Append to file. We didn't make that yet. Don't worry. You can probably do it with the HTTP request node. Okay. Select append to file. Okay. Doesn't exist. Yep, you're seeing that because your n8n doesn't allow include an append to file node. Node names vary by version. No problem. We'll still store submissions for free with a built-in node. You do have best free storage option in n8n built-in data store. You likely have a node called data store. Sometimes data stores or data store. Let's see. Data. So these are all nodes actually. I don't see a data store. I see MongoDB Atlas Vector Store. I see this one. This is exactly what your n8n built. So the original does not include data store or file nodes. Those are feature gated in some builds. So we'll do this in the correct free workaround. The free all plus always available solution. Store submissions by emailing yourself plus return JSON. This is still a valid app and very common in production. No paid services, no external DB, no gated nodes. Updated final flow, simpler plus guaranteed. We have a webhook. Edit field set if email contains at, false returns 500. True email response to. This is still a real backend API. Step by step, finish it cleanly. On the true branch, add email node. Click plus email. Let's see. It should exist. Email trigger. Send email. Okay. Which one do I choose? Good question. This is exactly how people get confused. Here's the simple choice for free, easy, demo friendly. So choose Gmail. So let's do that. All right. I click Gmail, the one with the Google M icon. Why Gmail is the best choice? Free, works perfect for demos and real use. Simple OAuth setup, and guides you. No SMTP config headache. And simple mail transfer protocol. No API keys or paid plans required. This is ideal for your video. Don't choose these for now. Send email trigger, IMAP, Outlook, or email validation. Next steps. After clicking Gmail, once you click on Operation Send. I don't see send. Let's see. Send a message. Send a message for wait. I'll create a send a message. Click create credentials. I don't see that. Credential to connect with. Create new credential. Assign in with your Gmail account. Allow permissions. Okay. OAuth 2 recommended. Localhost callback. Secret client ID. Secret ID. I don't see a sign in. So OAuth redirect URL. Let's see. Copy that. Okay. Open Docs. Google Auth. Calendar. Let's see, Gmail OAuth 2. this is what I get. This screen is expected, and it is asking you to create a Google OAuth credentials. I'll walk you through it step by step, slow and clean, and I'll just give you a much easier fallback if you don't want to touch Google Cloud at all. Optional I recommend for Gmail OAuth. There's a proper way and it looks good in the tutorial. Open Google Cloud Console. Log in the same Gmail account you want to send emails with. Okay, Promptopia, this old one. Create a new project. So we create a project here. I think it was right here somewhere. No, Promptopia, new project. Click new project name at n8n Gmail. Let's see, project name. Click create. Creating the project. Make sure the project is selected. So yeah, you can select it like this. After that, enable Gmail API. Left sidebar, APIs and services library. Left side, API services. Okay. API services, and then go to library. Okay. After that, search Gmail API. No project. Now viewing project. Okay. What do we have to search? Gmail API. So we go and say Gmail API. I see Gmail API. And I think we have to enable this API. Now configure OAuth consent screen, APIs and services. Okay, I enabled that. API and services. So API and services, and then what do you have to do? OAuth consent screen. OAuth consent screen. Choose external. Click create. Choose external. What the heck? Let's go back to n8n. Okay. APIs and services. OAuth consent screen. Verification data, audience branding overview, settings. Go auth platform is not configured yet. Get started. App name, same thing. n8n Gmail. This is user support email. Next, internal. I think I saw external somewhere. Okay, choose external. There you go. Available to test user with a to any test user with a Google account. Contact information is the same one. Or I'll just create, okay, one email address. I'll put my own. And then we go to the next option and I say yes, I agree, and create. Okay, now since it's going to be creating this, you haven't configured any OAuth clients for this project yet. We create an OAuth client. So let's see. Fill minimal fields, app name, n8n local, user supported email, your email, developer contact email. Click save and continue through. Scopes, skip, test users, add your Gmail email, save, important, add your email as a test user. Okay. Test user. I don't see that option. Create OAuth client ID. Application type. Web application. Name n8n local. Authorized JavaScript origins. Authorized redirect URIs. Authorized redirect URI, very, very important. Add exactly this, copy this. Okay, this is the n8n. Add authorized redirect URIs. We're just going to paste that one in. And click create. Create. It may take 5 minutes or a few hours for settings to take effect. Client created. The client ID can always be accessed from client tabs on the Google platform. Okay, so this client ID is created, so I'm just gonna copy that. Okay, the client ID is created. Copy credentials into n8n. Google will show client ID secret. Go back to n8n, Gmail credential screen, and paste client ID, paste secret. Okay, let's go to the n8n client ID. I think I copied that. And the client secret is client ID. Go here. And client secret. Client ID is this one. Client secret is this one. And then paste that here. Sign in with Google. And you can sign in now. And access block and Gmail has not completed the Google verification process. Okay, I don't know why. Sometimes it said it takes 5 minutes, so I save it. I'll refresh it. And see you again. Okay. I'll say I'm getting this. I've done these in the past as well, 2 years ago. Then we'll just see what it responds with. Then we can move forward. Okay, you got a 403 access denied happens when a Google OAuth app is still in testing and your Gmail account isn't added as a test user, or you picked the wrong consent type. We'll fix it fast. You didn't add ourselves as a test. Go to Google Cloud Console, same project we created. APIs and services. Let's go to API and services. OAuth consent screen, I think so. Scroll to test users. Okay, let's go back. API and services, OAuth consent screen, test users. I can't even search that. Test users. Test permissions, traffic errors, users, number of active OAuth users per day, generate token grant rate. I don't even see it, bro. Where is it? Clients, account. Alright. This is what I see in the OAuth consent screen. You're in the new Google OAuth platform UI and a Google rename move things. This is why earlier steps still welcome. And now your app exists, but it's still not allowed users. But it has no allowed users. That's why Google blocks access. Let's fix it in 2 minutes. Go to audience. Okay. In the left side, this replaces the old test user section. Set the app to testing. Publish app. Okay, I see test users. I'm going to add myself. Okay, so now I can save that. When publish status is set to testing, only test users are able to access the app. Allowed users. Okay, I clicked on that. Audience page, you should see publishing status. Make sure it is set to testing. Publishing status set to testing. Do not set it to production. That requires verification. Add yourself as a tester. This is the key. Go to the audience section and add that. Click save. This may be the same Google account you're trying to sign in during OAuth. Double check branding one time. Click branding in the sidebar. Branding. App name. Anything. I'll just call. Okay, we'll just replace it with n8n local. Support email. Your developer contact email. Save if needed. Yeah. Alright. So now that's done. Developer contact. Save if needed. Branding must be filled or Google silently blocks OAuth. Okay, try OAuth again. Now go back to n8n Gmail credentials. Sign in with Google. Let's see. So I think it's this one. Sign in with Google. We're gonna log in with this. Google hasn't verified this app. Continue. Select all. Bro, this is crazy. Connection successful. Alright, that is so crazy, man. Okay, but still failed, but rare but possible. Okay. Tell me if this happens. It worked. Okay. So let's go back to n8n. I don't know what you want. Message. Gmail account. Okay, perfect. Now let's finish the app to end-to-end and test it. Configure the Gmail send node. The Gmail node resource operation or send to your email. You can send it to yourself. Resource message send to. I'm gonna send it to myself. All right, and we're gonna say subject. New contact form submission. And the message body is just all the things that were in the form field, right? Message, okay. HTML or text and a message. Save the node. I mean, the way we just like do that and then it says send. Click respond to webhook after Gmail. Add a respond to webhook after Gmail true branch. On the true branch after Gmail, click plus, add respond to webhook. Okay. Respond to webhook. Okay. And what do you want to do in here? Configure status code 200. Response code 200. Response body JSON. Respond with JSON. Okay, let's see. Success and true. I don't know. Sometimes I'm just like, thanks for your message was sent. Make sure the false branch responds. You already added this. Well, the false branch keep respond to webhook status 400 body and this. Your final workflow should look like this. Okay, so let's see what happens now. So this is how our workflow looks like. Okay, I don't even know if this is gonna work, but let's see. Webhook post contact. Okay. It's a post, meaning it's a form. Edit fields. It's set to the edit fields. If email contains add. If it doesn't contain it, we're gonna send it for activate the workflow. Click activate top right. Save activate. Okay. Workflow activated. Now you can make calls to your production webhook URL. Alright. Okay, so top right. Activate top right. Activate, download, archive. Test the PowerShell, run this. Why the heck do we have to run it here? Okay. Activate top right. Okay. Okay, let's just run it here. So invoke REST method. URI is this one. Contact. Post method. Content type application JSON. Name. Email. Message. See. Okay, what happens here? Success message. True. True. Thanks. Your message was sent. PowerShell success JSON. In PowerShell success JSON in your inbox email from Gmail with a message. Test the invalid. Okay, let's see. Did we get an email? Let's see what happened. Oh my god, man. How in the world did this work? Name, email, address. Received. Ridiculous. This is insane, man. And then if we do a bad response, is another curl request, I think so. And okay, it gave invoke method. Okay, contact post. Okay, I think it did messed up here. No application JSON. Invalid email. Invoke REST method. It gave red. Should expect a 400 invalid email. Make it. Okay, let's see over here. It shouldn't even send it actually. Yeah, because what was the problem? It didn't have the app signed with the email. See it? Not an email. And that's why it threw an error. And the webhook. In the webhook node, turn on CORS if you plan to submit from a web page form. Okay. Then you can say in the video, this is the backend endpoint. You can plug into any website contact form. Okay. So this is the backend endpoint basically, which you can plug into any website contact form, and you can turn on CORS and you can plan to submit from a web page form. You could create it yourselves with an HTML, and then you can have a form that gets the results from that. Basically, this workflow that we created here in n8n would basically get those values from that form, and it would send it to us in a Gmail. So that is mind-blowing. And you can of course change the email up to your preference. Like suppose I have another email address and I'm going to send it here. You can also change up the format, styling. Hope you enjoyed this video. Subscribe for more content. Okay. So let's see if I do that, and back to canvas, and we save and we execute workflow. You can see over here waiting for you to test the URL. Now again, you don't have to do that, but you can just go ahead and just run the command like this, just like this one right here. And when I send it, so you can see over here, post, the output stream for this command is already redirected. And let's see if, I assume it's not going to work because there was an error for that one. So what we're going to do is we're just going to execute workflow. I'm going to clear this. And let's just run, okay, not an email, let's run this one. So it sent the email again. We're using this URI, Uniform Resource Indicator. Uniform Resource Indicator, URI meaning Uniform Medical Computer. Uniform Resource Identifier is a compact string of characters that uniquely identifies a resource like a web page, file, or email. So it's basically a web page. And you can see the email submission. Your message wasn't delivered to HireSub24 because the address couldn't be found or is unable to receive mail. And the reason why is because it's not configured with the OAuth setup we have, and it's only going to be working with the existing one. If you love this extensive guide on n8n, please subscribe to the channel and make sure you comment and like the video so that I can create more content just for you. Let me know if you guys thought about this video, and if you need any more content related to n8n, AI, workflows, or anything like that, just let me know and we will create more videos regarding it this year. Thank you. Happy New Year, everyone. Good luck. Peace out.